Well, greetings and salutations, everybody. I'll wait a little bit for some people to show up, and then I guess I will start chatting. And you can see I've got a few things here on the table. Plus, I got something right out of view here that I will actually be talking about very soon. Um, if someone can give me a thumbs up or leave a comment or something so I know that somebody's out there, or I can see something that pops up saying, hey, you got somebody here, I'll actually, oh, hello, Mimo. Great, somebody is here. um, Before I get started on knives, hi, Prop Blast. Hi, Jim. Uh, Before I get started on some knives, I want to say a couple thank yous to a few people. Hi, Douglas. Um, First of all, hi, Hallie. Guess I'll wait a second. Maybe somebody else will be saying something. Okay. What you see here is a pile of not knives. These are beer mats, or also known as coasters in the United States. And these came all the way from the Netherlands, from Jeroen. I hope I'm pronouncing his name right. I mean, there's a ton of them here. I'm not going to go through all of them, but he sent me a ton of beer mats. For those who don't know, this is something else that I collect. I actually have a old video talking about these, and there was just a lot of them in here, so I will have to be going through them, but there were quite a few in here, and I was overjoyed to be receiving them. And what I plan on doing is using these partly as decoration and also just to throw into the other beer mats that I have around here. Oh, Grolsch, that's a beer I actually drank. I don't drink as much as I used to. Oh, that is a really nice one. Any case, lots of beer mats showed up, which is pretty cool. And then I also got a Christmas in September card from Byron over there at Splitting Slices, and he sent me some of his new stickers, which is pretty cool. So, got one with the seal and the ulu, which is pretty cool. And then the other ones are the classics, the Spax, and also the big old knife there. So 2024, and yeah, and now we're up into I love the seal with the ulu, so that's pretty cool too. So I've got those now, which is pretty cool. And well, uh, what I've been carrying, guess what? It's the same thing as always. So the Dragonfly, the Stag GEC, and my Explorer from Victorinox. I do have a few knives that I will be talking about very soon on the channel. One of them is this one here, a genuine Stag Baby Butterbean. Hi, Tracy, and salutations. And this is one that was made December 11th, 2024. If I missed anyone who said hi in the chats, I apologize, but I'm glad you're here. And well, thanks for dropping by. And I'm not leaving yet. I just got here. But in any case, got the Butterbean here, the genuine Stag Baby Butterbean. This is a knife I was looking at picking up for almost a year now. Finally broke down and bought one. I will have a review of that one coming up very soon. I don't know if I did this one yet or not. The black burlap laminate Dayglow G10 Smooth X Crossroad Sodbuster Jr. I've got one of those now. That's the second one. I can't recall if I've already done a video on that or not. But if I haven't, I will be doing one soon. And this was a gift from Checkmate. And this is the Brown Synthetic Standard Jig Slimline Trapper from Case. And I showed this one in an unboxing video. I will be doing a video on that one very soon too. This one has already been completed, and it will be coming up hopefully sometime this week. I've got some slides that I'm working on that I need to get done first, and then I will get this one up this week sometime. This one will be coming up in a week or two. Um, got some other knives that I want to show. Let me move these out of the way. And these are part of a continuation of what I started before, and that is a bunch of knives. I'm going to lift this up a bit. A bunch of knives. Most of them are Swiss Army knives, so I will be going through them relatively quickly. But these are the knives that don't normally get shown on the channel because I don't keep them in this same location. These are actually kept in a bedroom upstairs, and they're on display up there. And because of that, I seem not to show them on the channel as much as I should. So I will grab, well, let's see. I'll start with some of the Swiss Army knives, and you'll see why I'm not going to go into great detail on all of them because, well, how many times can you say, and this is a classic SD, and this is one of my problems with showing Swiss Army knives is I have a lot of them. I don't review them all because, well, if I was reviewing them all, it would get really boring and obnoxious. And someone asked, didn't you already have this knife? And I said, I don't think so. Well, they were right. I do have it. It's the Mer Kitty or the uh, Fish Kitty, I think, something like that. But yeah, I got two of them. I didn't realize I had one. And that's one of those things that happens when you have a whole lot of knives. You end up buying duplicates by accident sometimes. And this is the main reason I didn't see it before is because it wasn't where I normally keep all my other classic SDs. These were my favorites. This was one of my favorite classic SDs, and I left it upstairs. But now my granddaughter will have one someday soon. Who knows? Not that soon though. Then we got all these other ones. These are the classic SDs. One of them is not a classic SD. Yeah, this is not a classic SD. This is actually a Rambler. I wish they made more Ramblers out there. The Rambler is probably one of the good ones. A lot of people would probably like the classic SD a little more if it was always the Rambler. This is the one that has the little Phillips screwdriver and a cap lifter on there, plus the little wire bender. That is what makes it the Rambler. And then on the other side, you have the scissors, and the other two blades you have are obviously the nail file with the screwdriver tip, and then the cutting blade, the small little pin blade. This one was made to basically look like a military vehicle from World War II. You got the Invasion Star. That's sometimes what they were referred to, the ones with the circle around it. And those first started appearing, I think, with the invasion of Italy. And it was supposed to be a solid line going around it. But because of the stenciling, it was easier to, and that's what they did. They used the stencil. And what they're supposed to do is spray it and then take and connect the line all the way around. And you see some of them where the star is completely in a circle and other ones with the broken circle. But that started in Italy, I believe, in 1943 in Italy. And then you've got the supposed serial number on the backside there, and you see here that they're marking it 06/06/1944, which is obviously June. Operation Overlord, which is often referred to as D-Day. Of course, D-Day in southern France, I believe, was June 7th. That's when they invaded southern France. And D-Day is basically, the D in D-Day actually stands for day. So it's kind of being repetitive. You're saying day, because what the D is referring to the day that the invasion is going to take place. And then, so if you were to say that, that's the way it was. And then you also have 0 hour, which is the hour that the invasion actually kicks off. So that's the way it was always done. And I think they would have referred to it. Well, no, they would have called it D-Day anyway. But anyway, it was Operation Overlord. At least the ground attack was. I can't remember what the seaborne invasion was actually listed as, and I don't know if the British had a different name for it. But anyway, that's what that one was for. The ones I got also here, let me grab all the ones that are space related. Those were the ones that were upstairs. Don't remember the order of these. And let's see, this is a really cool one. The vacuum of space. See there, you got these spacemen with the vacuum, and you got the little uh, vacuum on the backside. There it is, the canister vac goes all the way around, and here he is in the front side, vacuuming up all the stars, and on the back you got stars everywhere. And then this was the one with the zodiac signs on there. Um, and you see the sign of the Victorinox Classic in the stars there. Um, then this one, yeah, this one was the one for that was made by Victorinox. It was one of their annual knives that they put out, and this is I think they called this spacewalk, but as you can tell, it's a little bit different than what you would expect. You've got the spaceman on the back side, and then there is a dog on the front side, and then you see the red line here. That is the leash for the dog going over to the spaceman on the back side here. And then you got the satellite there, or maybe no, that is more like a satellite. Might be a moon. I don't know. Got Saturn up there, little rocket ship over there. So, and I think all three of these were released through uh, Victorinox, straight from Victorinox. I thought there was a fourth one. I don't have it though, I guess. In any case, this is one from the Swiss Knife Shop, and this was in for the lunar landing for July. It was the 50th anniversary of the lunar landing on July 20th, 1969. And you see here photos from that lunar landing. And so if you can't see the reflection, but you have in the glass here, you would see the reflection of the other astronaut who's taking the photo of the one astronaut. And I have both of these. I have the Tinker and the Classic SD. I think these are still available from Swiss Knife Shop. I think they've reordered them. The ones that that Victorinox made, I frankly I didn't think they looked as nice as these, and they only made 1,969 of them for the entire world, and the price on them was ridiculous, and now they're almost impossible to get. So, don't have that. Then here was I think they called this Space Pug or something like that. You got a little pug dog there, and he is on a satellite or an asteroid there, flying through the sky and everything. So that one is Swiss Knife Shop. And then I'm guessing a few people will know what this one is. There's a certain sound that comes with it, dum, 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 dum. Yeah, Space Invaders. And this is also from the Swiss Knife Shop. And that's pretty cool. Anyone who's from back there in the late 70s, early 80s will remember this one, Space Invaders, which is pretty cool. And this one I do know is still available through Swiss Knife Shop. And then, is that, yeah, my other kitties, I've got the Lucky Cat. And that's the Japanese Lucky Cat. And then, oh, do I have I showed the other, oh, here's another kitty cat one. It's purple on one side. I guess you'd call this a magician's knife then, right? Because the sides are opposite of each other. I never thought of it that way, but yeah, this is one of those magician knives, but it's a Victorinox. You got the backside of the kitty cats there, and then you turn it over, you got the backside, but it's reversed, purple on white as opposed to white on purple. And then here's another lucky cat, this time with the little Japanese doll. I cannot remember the name of it to save my life right now, though. I'll tell you that. And then oh, another one I can't remember the name of right now. I really should have prepared for this a little bit better. But this is the one of those Mexican blankets. And I like how they match the colors here. You notice that you got the green toothpick here. Hi, Knife Delights. You got the green toothpick going on this side, and then you've got red tweezers on this side to match the colors of the blanket, which are really pretty cool. This was a fun one. This is one of the last years they did these also. I wish they would have kept making these every year, but then I would have probably kept buying them and spent a lot more money on them. This one is for Sweden. It's a cow. I got a couple cow ones in there. You know, this is the, oh, here we go. Turn it over. Yodel lay moo. Anyway, there you have the yodeling cow there. And on the backside, you see him sitting on top of, or standing on top of the hill yodeling. Then we got the tiki masks. And this one also Swiss Knife Shop. I got a lot of them from Swiss Knife Shop. Here's the another cow. This is the Highlander cow. And this one is actually from SMKW. I found out that, where does it say SMKW on here? Maybe, for the most part, from what I understand, oh, it should be on the backside. So it's right there, if we can see it right there, SMKW. If a lot of companies make these knives, you know, they will turn out, I'm sorry, that's not one of them, like so. And you'll find that, excuse me, if it's made, all sorts of knife companies or stores and stuff will make these knives. And if they do, they have to, somewhere on the knife, it has to show that it was made for that company. That is a requirement from Victorinox. So that's why this has SKS on there. All the ones from Swiss Knife Store or Swiss Knife Shop will have that. The ones from SMKW will have SMKW on there somewhere. Hold on just a sec. Sorry about that. I'm choking. So again, SKS. Well, this is going to go great if I keep coughing. But in any case, the way it goes is if a company is making one or has requested it a pattern be made, it has to be listed on the knife. You know, the company that is asking for it. That is what Victorinox requires. And this is so you know that this is not something that Victorinox came up with. This is something that SMKW came up with. If you've got a problem with it, talk to them. They're just filling a contract. And these are the ones for autism awareness. These were made by SMKW. You see it here. Well, it says autism there, but where does it say SMKW? This one might have been contracted through SMKW, but for an organization, I think. I'm not sure. But this one is clearly, again, autism awareness, but this time it will definitely say SMKW on it. This is one of the few where I don't see SMKW on it, but that's usually the way it'll be. And if it is a one that is just done by Victorinox, it will just have the shield on there or something like that. Well, by Victorinox. Notice it does not have anything else on there. It doesn't give the name of a company or anything like that. I have a couple by other companies, and it'll be the same way. They will have some kind of mark on there that will say, like Swiss Knife Shop or something like that. Most of these are from Swiss Knife Shop, but I do have a few from um, SMKW. This one, I think this was actually through Blade HQ, but I'm not 100% sure. And this is one of those odd ones because it is not marked what company made it. So I'm not sure how that worked, but from what I understand, at least now, you have to have your name on there. It's just not going to show up without it. But anyway, I'm going to move on from there. As for this wooden one is not from uh, a Victorinox. It's just a made in China knife, and it just was for the Saint Florian Holy Name Society. So that's a Christian organization that I belong to. So that's what that is. I was thinking about picking them, having a bunch of them made, but after getting this done, it's like I like it, but I don't like it enough to turn it into a gift for every member of the organization. So I'm still thinking about doing that, but if I'm going to do that, then I'm going to contact a company and find out who will actually print that on a on the cover or the scales of a Swiss Army Classic and do it that way. That's what I'd rather do. Have somebody else engrave it into an actual Victorinox knife, and then I'll do it that way instead of grabbing the one out of China. It's going to be about 4 or 5 times more expensive, but I would rather do that for the guys than um, give them one made in China. Just me. I like this one. That's why I've kept it, but it's not the kind of knife that I want to give to somebody. Any case, I've even done that for knife chats with Tobias. I've made these, and it's like it's not quite what I want. I got to find something better. Any case, with that said, let me move on to some other knives that are not Victorinox right now, and so that people can see a few other things that I have upstairs that I don't always show. Some of these you probably have seen, but you don't see them as often. Let's start with this one. This is a case. What is this? The Pocket Hunter, and this was in the really nice corncob jib. I think it's Autumn Bone, and you got the case shield there. Let me get back a little bit, and it's a single blade version, and that's why I picked it up, the single blade version. And I have actually carried this one a couple times because I do like this one, and I they also have the other blade on there, the Skinner blade. Let me go grab the other one. I only got two of those small hunters. Okay, I'm back. Here we go. This is the other one, and this is the two-layer, two-bladed one, and this is in the lizard skin. So this one came from Shepherd Hills. I think I got this one from SMKW. ISC Knife Monkey. Is SC for South Carolina? Just curious. Any case, Shepherd Hills, and I got this one through SMKW. One blade and two blade. And what we have here, the only place I've been in South Carolina is Charleston, and Charleston is a wonderful city. More for visiting than I don't know if I'd want to live there, but it is definitely a place that people should visit and go to. Charleston is, it's like the hidden gem of the South. I guess Savannah just a little down the road is pretty good too. It's like everyone always goes to, what is it, Myrtle Beach or something? I would recommend Folly Beach in Charleston, and you got all the food in Charleston too. So it's a really great place to be. And from what I understand, and it might have changed a little bit, but when I was down there, I was informed that Charleston is the number two place in the United States for destination weddings. That's and number one is Las Vegas, but more people will go to Charleston for a destination wedding than any other city outside of Las Vegas. And the other thing is you start up in the mountains there by North Carolina as you're coming into Charleston, and it's a beautiful drive as you cross over the Appalachians, and then you get into the Piedmont area, and then you just keep on going down until you get to the coast. It's a beautiful ride through there. Anyway, back to this. The lizard skin has the two blades on here, and you've got the Skinner here as opposed to the clip blade. And what I wish Case would have done is also came out with single blade versions of this knife with the Skinner blade. Let's just take this blade out of the way. Notice how low it fits into the handle and everything. It almost disappears in there. And it is a really nice little blade. And so I wish they would have come out with this knife with just the Skinner blade on there too. Just a single blade, skinning blade without the bump there. And the handle feels so much better with just the one blade. So that skinning blade would have been really nice in there. But I know what would have happened if they would have not gone with a single clip blade on here. At the time that this knife, when they brought this out of the vault, I know what the other single blade would have been on there, and I would have never bought it. Someone would have convinced them to put a Warncliffe blade on here, and that would have just been, in my opinion, kind of goofy. But anyway, I really do like this knife. It's a really good size, 2 3/4 inches, so it's not very big. I wish I'd have bought more of them, especially the single bladed ones, because this is a really good fifth pocket carry. Moving on, here's another one that I don't show very often, and this is my favorite of the equal and pin knives that have this scene on there, and this is by Boker. It's their 414, I think, and you got the little pointer in the middle there, and then you flip it over and you got the pointer in the middle again, and then you've got the probably, what would you say, pheasant, grouse, maybe grouse. And then you got the ducks on the other side here. Could be turkeys. Looks more like grouse to me. I don't know. Anyway, blade-wise, you got the small pin blade, and then you've got the longer Spearmaster blade. And it's a really nice knife, and you can see here, this is Boker Tree brand out of Solingen, Germany. So this is a really well-made one. You can see there, you got the I don't know what it is, probably some kind of pewter or nickel silver covers, and then the stainless steel back spring going down the middle there, and then the pins there appear to be nickel silver as well. But a really nice knife and really well made. The blade, look at how slim that is. And let's see that, as slim as it is, we're talking about German precision there. There is no blade rub on there. So that's just a fantastic little knife. And then this one I've shown a couple times, but it's one of my favorite. And this is unmarked. As you can tell, it's kind of like a toothpick, but it's a ring release, I guess I would say. Sometimes it's called a ring lock, but the lock is the back spring here, and you have to pull this to release the blade. Got a nice little saber ground blade going on, about 5 inches closed, about 9 inches overall. Obviously, it's in that toothpick family, but it's also in the kind of like the wheel look to it, especially with the bottom here. I picked this one up at a fair. There are no markings on here at all. Um, the only thing I know is that the person who made it said that it was made in the USA. So the person who manufactured it here, where he got the parts from, I don't know, but they assembled it here, um, and works really well. The brake on the lock is really good. If you let it drop, yeah, it is going to have some wrap going on, but look at how nicely that is polished and everything. The bone there, wonderful white smooth bone. Now, when I first got it, it was flat, straight up and down across the top here. And so I took a Dremel and I smoothed it around a little bit on the sides here to get it down flusher. And so that when you're doing the old pinch coming over the edge, there wasn't that sharp edge hitting my finger. Um, Really nice knife though. Brass pins, even has brass liners going on behind the bone. And you got these two lines cut in here. So, to create something of a powder horn pommel, but just two lines cut in there. Really nicely done though. And look at how evenly they are matched. So the person who is making these knew what he was doing at least. Again, I don't know what the parts were or anything else, and the person could have been lying to me too. But anyway, I'm really happy with it. Very well made. This is the Camilla's office knife. This is kept upstairs because it's basically kept in an office in the upstairs area along with the rest of these knives. So, where is my family from? My family is from Kentucky. Yeah. My father was in the Air Force, so we moved around a lot. Camilla's, New York here. Wonderful little office knife. This one is in basically mint condition almost. Obviously, it's got a little bit of staining in there from use over the years, but not too much. Yeah, and I'm actually up in Illinois now, so that's where I live, basically. That's as close as I'm going to get in saying it here, but send me an email and I will let you know exactly. In any case, here's the other knife. This is the office knife. I keep these two knives together. This is actually the desk knife that was designed by Tony Bose. It's in white smooth bone. It was made by Case. Really nice sheath on here. And this is the one that I keep in my office upstairs. Knife Chats with Tobias. I asked them to engrave it. I thought where they were going to be engraving it was on the back here, but nope, they put it on the blade. That's fine. And this is in, as we can see here, 154 cm. So pretty good steel going on with it. It has a decent enough edge too. So I'm really happy with this one. And seems to be all right in the sheath because, well, it's not cheap leather out of Pakistan. And this is actually the way it is supposed to be stored. It's supposed to be stored on your desk in the sheath with the knife. So, and that's how it is done. And I actually do occasionally use this, and I also occasionally use this one for cutting up boxes and stuff like that. But usually I have this knife in my pocket, so I use this one instead. And I really like the Dragonfly, so I use that one a lot more than I use this one because it's more handy. Even though this is right on the desk in front of me, these knives I just pull out of the pocket and use. Something I noticed about this one, this is the GEC that I've been carrying for a while. And yeah, it does have patina on it. You can kind of see it a little bit there. Maybe. Yeah, there you go. You can see the patina there. Well, I started carrying it in a leather sheath or a leather slip, and I noticed that the patina was getting darker. So I don't know if I'm going to keep doing that or not. It seems like the patina forms faster in a leather slip than if I just drop the knife in my pocket. Just an observation I was making with that. Neither here nor there. This is 1095 carbon steel. It probably would not make a bit of difference with a stainless steel. Another one that I have upstairs, and this is just simply because I really like this knife, and this is the picnic knife. I think. Oh, this is the Wine Master by Victorinox, 120 millimeter knife, and this is a work of art as far as I'm concerned. I'm one of those people who collect these kind of knives, though. For most people, it's kind of like, who cares? And I'm going to be doing something. And this knife is one of those knives that is kind of leading the way on this. And it's like, it's a thought I have. I'm still working on it. It's basically an idea for a video called Knives for Non-Knife People. Because, well, obviously, this isn't even really a knife for a non-knife person. Yeah, this is. I got the cheese knife too, Luke. Um, and this, while this is a knife for a non-knife person, when you think about it, the kind of person who would buy this knife is probably a knife person, not a non-knife person. I mean, after all, it's a letter opener, and let's face it. Um, do I have it here? I have it here somewhere. Ah, here it is. Two of them. This knife is fulfilling the same purpose as either of these two knives or letter openers. That's what this is for. This is for opening your letter, opening a package, and so on and so forth. Well, this is what the common person would be using instead. Um, this is a letter opener, and it's actually one that has a pretty good edge on there, so you could actually cut stuff with it. So, you know what I mean? It's like, so I got to do it. I've been thinking about it for a while. It's like, what are the knives that non-knife people actually use? And is this, you know, is this something that more knife companies need to start focusing on? It's like, okay, well, this is great. This is something that the collector is going to use, and this is something like, okay, the true outdoor enthusiast. We always think, oh, as a knife person, we always think the knife, that is the most important thing you have to have on you when you go outdoors. And I think the outdoor enthusiast is probably going, actually, I want to make sure I have a nice, comfortable backpack, and I want some good, sturdy, comfortable shoes because I'm going to be walking a long distance. And, I'm only going to be gone for 2 or 3 days. And, any kind of pocket knife's going to work. So, you know what I mean? And so many other things. It's like, how are you going to survive the day and at work without a pocket knife? And it's like pretty easy, actually. There's a knife in the break room for me to spread my peanut butter and jelly with, so I don't really need a knife at work, that kind of stuff. So I really need to think about this a bit, but I am trying to come up with the idea of a video on that, the knife for the non-knife person, because uh, I think it could be a little bit comical, and I would, if someone else out there wants to steal the idea, I don't care. I'm still going to go forward with it, and I'd love to see what other people think of for knives for the non-knife person, and it's not the knife that we would recommend to the non-knife person. It's the knives that the non-knife person is actually going to use because they're already using those things. At some time, we were all a non-knife person. Yeah, the butter knife is an exact example of such things. That the most used knife in the house is probably some kind of butter knife. Yeah, it's a fact of life, unless you're a knife person. Anyway, ceramic paring blade is right up there. Oh yeah. Oh, so true. Anyway, let's get back to some knives for knife people. This is a Shatton Morgan. It is a scout knife. Um, and I think this is on what is this, 3.5 or 3 3/8? Yeah, this is 3 5/8 inches. So this is the standard size of a scout knife. As you can tell, though, it does not have a bail or a clevis on there. Pinch bolsters too. Now, Shatton Morgan made these. This is actually Queen made by a Shatton Morgan made by the old Queen Cutlery Company, not the new Queen Cutlery Company. And they made these both with and without a bail. And we got the cap lifter screwdriver in the front here. And that means the can opener is on the old side. And this is the one that really kind of a funky one. I think of it as the Half Moon can opener. And you can see that there's a spot right there. And that is because when you open the can, you're going to poke this down into it and you're going to cut upwards. And this is where you actually catch it on the edge of the lip, and you push up, and then you'd be also pushing against the can with the back of the knife here. Any case, the other part we have here, I have another one of these knives, not this knife, but I have other knives with this style of can opener. These were very common in some of the old Camillus knives, as well as Utica knives. Had this a lot, especially on some of the old Girl Scout knives, I think. So I will have to try it on a can in a future video. But also here we got the punch. It's got a nice little bevel in there. It's got a nice good bend. See that? Not extremely sharp this way, but on this edge it is. And this would be really good for, turning this way into leather and ripping it open and everything. So nice little awl. And then obviously the main blade, the Shatton Morgan. And we see there's Shatton Morgan trademark. And on this side, 044 2SK. That was the pattern number, I believe. And we see there Queen Steel, USA, 94. And on the front side, Shatton Morgan, S&M, Titusville, Pennsylvania. So, and I believe these were using ATS 34. I'm not 100% sure. Going in the opposite direction, a coin knife, Moon Pie. You can kind of guess where these came from. This is from Frost and Company. There are actually 3 different versions of this knife. I only grabbed one, and has some interesting blades on it. You got the can opener and cap lifter. This can work for both, but it's really more of a cap lifter to me than a can opener. Supposedly you can use it as a can opener though. So it's a combo tool. And then there's the main blade, not extremely sharp. And then on the other side, some really funky scissors. You see the spring a little bit over here. But they actually do cut. They're just kind of hard to work because, well, it's kind of an odd shaped knife. So we got that one there too. And then this one, this is the Sabic or whatever, however they pronounce it. But as you can see, this was designed by Brian Wilhoit. This is a Rough Rider Reserve. What scissors? Okay, where's a sheet of paper? Here's the scissors, see, and they do cut. Just not well. But they do cut. It's just they cut like 1/8 of an inch at a time because of how small they are. Any case, back to the other knife. This was a Rough Rider Reserve knife. It's basically a really big toothpick. I think 5.5, 5.25 inches, something like that. Yeah, right around that, around 5 3/8 inches long, closed, and it has a really big old blade on there. Yeah, 4.5 inch blade going on. Nice clip up on the top there. D2 tool steel, like all the Rough Rider Reserves. I've got a couple of these actually, but when I was down at SMKW a couple years ago and managed to run into Brian Wilhoit, I bought one and had him sign it for me. So because he made that, and this is really pretty cool. I actually have one of these that I carry, and I also have one in the collection, plus this one. So I've got quite a few of those. One of my favorite of the Rough Rider Reserve knives. And then, well, I guess we're back to a bunch of Victorinox knives again. Won't try and bore you too much, but the one of the things about these are these. This is one of the latest ones I picked up. This is dumpster fire. Only you can prevent dumpster fires. SMKW, see right there. And then on this side, you can see only you can prevent dumpster fires, and it's got their Trash Panda logo there, dressed up as Smokey Bear there. And you got the dumpster fire over there. And as you can tell, this is built on a Tinker frame. And that is what SMKW does with most of their knives. This is the autism awareness knife that they also made. See autism on the back there, the puzzle pieces and such. And as you can see, that is also a Tinker. And just about every one of their fancy knives that they make is a Tinker. Something I've complained about quite a few times online to them about is like, can't you put these nice covers on a more appropriate knife? And well, the answer was a non-committal nothing. But in any case, as you can see, this is also one by SMKW. And it does not have, it is not built on a Tinker. And that's because I swapped the covers, which I do with quite a few of the SMKW knives. I take the covers off the Tinker and I put them on a different knife because I'd rather have that. And then what happens is I take the red covers off of the knife that I am swapping them off with, and I put them on the Tinker that had the fancy covers, and I give the Tinker away because, but you know, that basically when I do that, it's a way of saying, well, great, now if I want this and I want it on a different cover or a different knife, it's going to cost me, used to be about $20 more. Now a Tinker goes for like 30 bucks. So now what happens is if I can run across some old Tinkers or old Spartans on eBay that I can get for like 10 or $15, I'm willing to make the swap. But otherwise, I don't bother. Well, I'm sorry. If I can find the model that I'm interested in at a low enough price, I'm willing to make the swap. And then you get crappy covers on an otherwise new Tinker because this was not the best shape. I think this is the Huntsman. Yeah, this was not the best shape Huntsman when I got it. The condition of the blades and everything was fine. It was a relatively new Huntsman, but the scales looked like crap. They went on a Tinker and I gave them away. But otherwise, that's what I've been doing is I swap them out and make the knife I want or put the covers on the knife I want. And this one is a Huntsman, which looks a whole lot better or feels a whole lot better to me than what I had before. Now, there was one exception, and that was this one. This is the one they did with the campfire. As you can see here, life is better around a campfire, SMKW. This is one of the few knives that they made that was not a Tinker. As you can tell, it's got the corkscrew, so it might be a Spartan, but nope, this one also has the saw down the middle. So this one is a camper, which is appropriate, you know. You got a campfire, you got life is better around a campfire, and they actually put the covers on a camper. And that's the way I feel that these knives should be done. Um, get something that kind of relates to what you're doing. This one is from Swiss Knife Shop. They have a whole series of knives with bears. I think a lot of people who watch the channel are familiar with me and bears. Yeah, I love bears actually, except for a certain football team. We will say little about them, other than I don't think anyone's going to be eaten by them again this year. Any case, I shouldn't have said that. Any case, this is a camper, but it is also built on the Huntsman frame, and wonderful walnut covers on this. I've got just about every Swiss Knife Shop bear knife there is. I got to get a couple more, and then I will be done with them until they make another one. It is one of those things that I collect. One of these days I'll show them all, but this front just kills it for me. Got the stars and the moon up there, and then you got the bear with the little Coleman lantern. And then on the back side, you got the two bears roasting marshmallows over a fire. Or are those people bits that they're roasting over the fire? I don't know. Anyway, that one there. And then these are also both from, here's another bear one. This one is kept upstairs. The hula bear with the flaming torches and the hula dancer on the with the sunset in the background, waiting for the sun to go down so that the bear can eat something in a hula skirt, I'm assuming. Anyway, they look like they're having fun at the moment. And then this one is also one of theirs. This one was called Tropical Shirt, which is really cool. And well, these are two of my favorites. I have this thing about the whole tropical paradise kind of thought, hence the volcano club and everything else. So that, I think, is the last of the knives in there. Am I ready to stop yapping? It's been a while, 51 minutes. Yeah, but I don't know if I'm ready to stop talking yet. But as you can see, there's a ton of Victorinox knives in front of you, and that is really just a small selection of them. I mean, I have over 100 classic SDs, and I'm not talking about 158 millimeter knives. I'm talking about 100 classic SDs. Don't have my keys with me right now. On my keys, I carry a Midnight Manager, which is basically the Rambler, along with a little flashlight and an ink pen in the scales. But I have so many other ones too, and it's I collect them because to me they are just a little art project or something. They're just a little piece of art that I can hang on the wall, and I'm kind of fascinated by them. Obviously, they're not for everybody. That's why I don't just sit here and talk about classic SDs all the time, because if I did, no one would be here. Same with other Victorinox knives. What's my favorite SAC platform? Currently, it's this one right here. I really like the Explorer. This is my daily carry Explorer. This is the one I really like to carry. It has the plus scales on it, which is also something that I really need to have. However, if I'm out in the woods, and I do still go out there occasionally, I step it up and I grab this one, and this is the Outrider. And the Outrider has just about everything that the Explorer has on it, with the exception of well, it does have a Phillips screwdriver. What it doesn't have is the magnifying glass, and I need that magnifying glass. So when I go out in the woods, I end up not putting this one down, but adding this one to it. That's what knife people do. A person who is a non-knife person, if they had a knife for camping, they would just take the camping knife, and they would not take the knife. And they probably don't have a knife that they carry every day. If I were recommending a knife for a person who is doing camping and stuff, and I said, "Oh, well, if you want like an all-around tool, maybe this would be a good one for you. It's a little bit expensive, but it's a good knife for you." It's the Outrider, and we can see here it's got the locking blade. Now this is the slide lock. It's an older one. They still make the Outrider, and now it has the liner lock, so it's a little heavier than this one. Also, I think the newer Outriders, they got rid of the corkscrew, which is bothersome to me. I wish they'd have kept the corkscrew and get the dust out of there. Yeah. Hey, I carry it. What can I say? And then it also has the punch on the back. Now, for those who are wondering, yeah, this punch and this corkscrew, they are the same tools that you will find on the backside of any other 91 millimeter knife, even though this is a 111 millimeter frame. So those are the same tools used there. And this is an older Outrider. So this can opener also comes from the 91 millimeter knives. I don't know if this one is so old that it also has, yeah, it does. Also the same cap lifter, screwdriver, wire stripper that you have on the 91 millimeter knives. Now later, and let me go grab one and you'll see the difference. See that? Same tool. However, later on, they changed things up a little bit. Coming back, I didn't run away, but I had to walk across the room. So when you get to the later models, you see here a much larger cap lifter screwdriver, and it also will have the liner lock going on there. I think that's after 2011, they swap them out and go for the bigger cap lifter screwdriver, and they hook in the liner lock. That's also something you'll find on the rescue tool. This is the Swiss soldier's knife. But in any case, this one also does not lock. It just has the half stop going on for it. You got a pair of scissors here on it also. Nice scissors. And on the back side here, you have a number 1 screwdriver as opposed to a number 2 screwdriver. So this is for smaller screws. I don't know why they went with the number 1. They should have just gone with the number 2. I will show you the difference on that right here. This is the one I feel they should have put on there. Maybe it's because it would have been too thin or something. But you can see the difference there. Maybe you can, maybe you can't. Let's do it this way. See how small that screwdriver is? That is for a number 1 Phillips screw. This is for a number 2 Phillips screw. Most Phillips screws are a number 2 Phillips screw. So I'm not sure why they went with number 1. And this thing, you got to be careful when you're closing it because wham. Did you see that? You start to close it, give it a little push. Come on, get that out of the way. But once you get past a certain point, it just slams shut. Faster than the eyes. And so if you already have your scissors closed, it's going to slam right into your scissors. So to me, that is not the best design on there. And I rarely use that anyway. And then you got the wood saw going down the middle. So this is basically, the Outrider is basically the same as the Huntsman. And I carried a Huntsman for about 17 or 18 years before I switched over to the Explorer. And the reason I switched over to the Explorer is I found out that I was not going in the woods nearly as much as I used to. And I had more use for a Phillips driver and a magnifying glass than I did the wood saw. And that's the whole reason I switched out and went to this. Um, this has the tools that I will most likely use during the day, and including the little screwdriver here. That's why I did it, and that's the thing I like about Swiss Army knives is that there are so many models out there that you can usually find something that will work for you. That's the way I will go with it. God bless America too. Also, sorry someone had to leave, and I'm sorry I didn't catch your name. But thank you for being here when you were here. Um, one other knife. Oh, here's the other one. This is the Huntsman. I really like this one. Oh, not the Huntsman. This is the Hunter. This is also a knife that is somewhat similar to, where is it at? Not that one. Oh, got too many here. This is a Huntsman. This is the Huntsman. This is a Hunter, 111 millimeter Hunter. This one is interesting in that it does have a wood saw and something else you'll notice here. And these two came out around the same time, right? Oh, this one is, yeah, this one is same. You'll see on this one, maybe. Close it up. Over the time on these 111 millimeter knives, the wood saw changes shape. I like the older ones a little bit better. They're a little, they have a little more meat to them. And so I like these a little bit better. Both of them cut really well though. And you have about an extra ½ inch on cutting. So that helps a lot too. But in any case, this is the Hunter. It's a 3-layer knife with the wood saw and the main locking blade. I don't know if I think they did get around to putting the liner lock on the Hunter as well. Mine is older. I bought it back when. It does not come with the fill or the little screwdriver, but I added it. I should take this and replace it with one of those fire starter kits maybe. And then we have the punch going on there. But the interesting thing are the front tools on the Hunter. You got the combo tool here with the small flathead screwdriver and the cap lifter wire bender. And then, this is also a can opener cap lifter. That's why they call it a combo tool. And then the backside tool is this little gutting blade is what they refer to it as, but it is basically a serrated hawkbill. But as you can tell, it's blunt on the tip here, all the way around the edge. And that's because it is for gutting animals. Obviously, if you do gut an animal with this, then you're going to have to be throwing this one into a probably a good hydrosonic cleaner to get everything out of there. But it's a really nice knife. I do like the Hunter as well. And the other one, the other biggie within those knives, well, I got quite a few 111 millimeters. Maybe the rescue tool. That's the fun one, which started off as the fireman, I think. But rescue tool is here. Notice glow-in-the-dark covers or scales. It's got rescue tool there. It's got the Victorinox signature. This is one of the most counterfeited Victorinox knives. Be careful. They come out of China and they are fake. But this one is not. This is the genuine deal. You've got the Phillips driver on the backside there. You still have a punch. Notice something different with the punch here as opposed to this one. There's no eye hole in there. You'll also see that, I believe, with these knives, the Swiss soldier's knife, it also does not have the sewing eye. That's the way, because they're not used for anything like that. So you will not see a sewing eye on the rescue tool. That is one of the things that you'll sometimes see. If you see that, run away from it. Most likely it is a counterfeit. Then this tool here is the glass breaker, and it is actually removable. I'm not going to remove it at this moment. If that is in here, then the can opener is missing, and you have on the other side the large screwdriver cap lifter going on, and it locks. It's got the liner lock going there. Press down, and then you can close it. Um, the the department that was creating this said, no, we need something that locks. We need that screwdriver to lock, and they needed to be able to pry with it. And so I believe this is the first knives that ended up getting the big screwdriver on there. And then on the other side, you have the one hand opening blade. As you can tell, it drops right down the middle. And I have a little bit of an issue getting it around, but it does get around. And you see there, it locks. A lot of people hate it because it is a partially serrated blade, but that was what they wanted because they wanted something that would be easy to cut through seat belts and all sorts of other stuff. And just cut the rubber seal around windows and things of that nature. So very good blade on there. And it's a left-handed liner lock, so you have to press to the left to close. The other thing they wanted to make sure of with this was that the knife you could easily open and close blades while wearing heavy gloves and stuff, and you can actually do that as well. The next blade over, let's see, is this the one, or did I miss it? This is the seat belt cutter. Notice the tip here. That is also a design feature so that they can get under the rubber seal around windows and pull it out. But this is also a seatbelt cutter. And blunted tip so that you won't accidentally cut the person when you're getting it up and underneath the seatbelt. This later becomes the gutting blade on the Hunter X, I think, a similar type blade. So it could be used for gutting animals too. But the original design was seatbelt cutter. It does not lock. And then the final blade on here is the glass saw. This is a saw for cutting through safety glass. That's what it's designed for. And for some reason, it still has the toothpick and tweezers. Not exactly sure why, but they put them on there. But that is the rescue tool. And then as long as I got this one out, this is the Skipper. This is the original Skipper, not the Skipper Pro. I looked at the Skipper Pro and passed on it. I don't do enough sailing or anything, or I'm not on the water enough to even bother thinking about it. And it really was just a knife with a big marlin spike. So it's only really the knife blade and the spike. This, you got the small can opener, and then on the other side, the small cap lifter screwdriver. And as you can tell, this is the slide lock on the side, so it's an early one. You got the serrated blade again, something that a lot of people complain about. If you noticed something on these, the back blade, unlike things like the 91 millimeter knives, they just have the one single blade. They do not have the other blade. They don't have the small pin blade. And that was something a lot of people noticed and complained about, but they never bothered to make a difference in there. And the main reason they didn't is because it would have interfered with the slide lock. So that's why you do not see any kind of blade down here. It would have made a very funky back spring, so they just didn't do it. Next over on this is the pliers, a little pair of wire pliers, and I guess this would work okay for, your, I can't even think what they're called right now. Yeah, there you go. I don't think so. I would not use that for breaking a shackle. That's it. I think they're a little too small for most shackles or anything like that. But a lot of people seem to like those little pliers. I would have rather had a pair of scissors, to be honest. But on the other side here is a number two screwdriver, which is pretty cool to have. Um, and once again, you need to have the pliers open before you close the screwdriver down. But it's a number two screwdriver. Very short though. It's shorter than um, what you have on the Explorer. I wish it would have been a longer screwdriver. We should have had a longer shaft in that screwdriver. But it's still a decent enough screwdriver. And I do like the back mounted one. I know so many people like the corkscrew to be a screwdriver instead. I'm not that one. And then finally, the last thing on there is a very interesting marlin spike, shackle key, and also sewing eye for sewing, repairing a canvas sail. So that's what was on the skipper. If I didn't show it, yeah, the back tool is the corkscrew, and then the other awl. But in any case, those are some of my 111 millimeter knives. I do show them occasionally, but not too often. I guess this was kind of mostly Swiss Army knives today, but I hope you guys enjoyed it. I'm losing my voice now. I've been yapping for over an hour, so I am going to have to call it a day. And like I mentioned before, there are a few things coming up in the very near future. And one of the big ones is the my thoughts on the genuine baby stag butterbean by Case. And for those who don't know what a butterbean is, it's a mini canoe. Any case, with that said, I will let you go. I hope you enjoyed this little bit of a ramble through some not often seen Swiss Army knives on my channel. And let me know what you think about the idea of knives used by non-knife people, you know, and not the ones that we would recommend, but the ones that we have observed non-knife people tend to gravitate towards. Any case, with that said, I will let you go. Have a great Sunday, and hope to talk to you again soon. You guys have a great time out there, and you know, be careful and try not to get too much blood on you from your own knife, I guess. Any case, with that said, I will let you go. Have fun.